I'm JD, and what we're going to be doing today is a proof. And we're going to be doing a two-column proof. It's not going to be so formal, so I might actually skip some steps, but it will just give you a basic idea on how to do a proof. So if you would, pause the video and see if you can try this one on your own. Alright, so first off, a picture always helps. So do some vertical angles. Vertical angles form when you have two lines intersecting, right? These two would be vertical angles. So 1 and 3 are vertical angles, and then 2 and 4 are vertical angles. 1 and 2 would be adjacent, or 1 and 4 would be adjacent angles because, well, if they're adjacent, they're like right next to each other. So first we'll write angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical angles. And how do I know that? Definition. Right? The definition of vertical angles tells me that they're vertical angles. So that's the reason. Second, what you want to do is you want to prove that these two are equal in measure, or that the angles themselves are congruent. So what you can do is, you know that angle 1 and angle 2, when you add them together, gives you 180 degrees. You also know that angle 2, the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3, add up to 180 degrees. And you know that because of supplementary. You know, when their two angles are supplementary, you know that the summation of those two angles, the measures of those two angles, add up to 180 degrees. So let's write both of those now. Measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180 degrees. And I'm going to remove the degree sign. I also know that the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3, see how I'm getting both the 1 and the 3 involved, is equal to 180 degrees. And I know both of those because the definition of supplementary. Or you can say, since they're supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. So next line is going to be the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals this, the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3. And how I know that? Because just simply by substitution. I know that these two equations both equal 180, so then this and this has to be equal to each other. So that would simply be substitution. Next, remember what you're trying to prove? You're trying to prove that these two measures of angle 1 and the measure of angle 3, are equal to each other. So if I can use this to prove that measure of angle 1 is equal to measure of angle 3, then I'm done. And I can by subtracting both sides by the measure of angle 2. So the measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 3. And that's simply by the additive property of equality, or subtraction property of, I'm going to put subtraction, but either one works. Subtraction property of equality. No, it's putting equal sign. That's pretty much it. Once you have this, you proved it. And so then you can say, therefore, that's what those little dots mean. Therefore, vertical angles I'm going to use a lot of code here, are congruent. The little squiggly over the equal sign means congruent. And that's a basic simple proof. Now try to understand the steps and try to understand how to do a proof. This is one of the most basic proofs that you can possibly do. So nail this down, and that should help you with the rest of geometry.